Hey everyone, welcome to a very special Cobra Kai interview. The first, the first interview since season 3, and I couldn't ask for a better one. Today we're here with Zach Robinson and Leo Birenberg, the two composers of Cobra Kai. How are you guys doing today?
Just excellent.
We are great. We're great. It's Friday. Our album came out today. Yeah, great day.
Trump's
Couldn't
off
be a better
Twitter.
day.
We're having a great time. We're having a great day.
Yeah, I just want to say though, the season 3 score was amazing. I was talking to you guys before, but I would like as I was watching like the show for the first time, I would like lose track of like what scene was going on because I would be like so focused on the music when it was playing. And I gotta be honest, it was a little tough, going a week without it. Like I would be going on runs, do my workouts, and couldn't listen to that score. But now that it's out, I've listened to it. Hopefully you guys have listened to it. We're going to be talking a lot of specifics about the score, and
There will be spoilers.
There are
Thank you for that. heavy spoilers.
Yeah, heavy spoilers, and yeah. So, what has the so the season 3 score just came out today. So, what has the reception from the fans been like for you guys so far?
Pretty wild. I think like after a huge part of it is the move to Netflix was very big for the show, obviously, but it really like pointed so many more people in the direction of the soundtrack, just like people who are soundtrack fans and film fans in general. And so like this is the first album release we've had with like this much wider audience. And I think it's like really exciting to just like cruise around Twitter and like see people just be like stoked about the soundtrack, like whether or not they know us or not, or like know we wrote it. Like a lot of people are like tweeting at us and like tons of Instagram messages and posts about it. And then like some people just be like talking about the music in Cobra Kai, and like that's almost more exciting in some ways because it's just like someone who's like, wow, this music's awesome, like as they're watching. So it's pretty wild. It's awesome.
It's also crazy that we've been getting, just the fact that like not every score gets released. That's number one.
Oh yeah,
digitally,
sure.
Not every score gets released.
And in fact, like season 1, we really had to say like we really want this released.
Yeah,
to make
you have
sure
to normally kind of like fight for that. And we have our physical releases of the CD, like CD versions for season 2 and season 3. And just to show you how much Netflix did, season 2, the label opted to not do it on CD. Because season 1, it was a successful show, but season 1 didn't sell as many CDs as they wanted to. And then the second it went to Netflix, it sold out. So yeah, like it just now we.
So now we're doing a season 2 physical.
Yeah, and we've got like a lot of other dope just opportunities that we didn't have before. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, can you tell the fans who want to listen to the album where they can listen to it or purchase the CDs?
Yeah, actually, Drew, do you have any way to put a link in the video?
Yeah, I could.
If you go to my Twitter, it's in the bio actually of my Twitter.
Okay, I could do that.
Because we've got this like master link that links to like every music service. So like whether you're an Apple Music person or you want to listen to it on YouTube or a Spotify person or like buy it on Amazon. It links to all of them, so you can just like do whatever your favorite is.
Drew will put it in the chat. Drew's gonna put it in the chat.
Yeah, Drew's gonna put it in the chat. But we should say
the Spotify.
It's everywhere. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. It's on Amazon. It's on YouTube. It's on Tidal if you want to listen to it in like freaking crazy hi-fi. Our mixer was listening to it on Tidal earlier today, and he was texting us and he was like, this sounds better than it sounds in my studio. Like it's unreal.
Wow.
So yeah, get on Tidal.
While Drew is typing it in, I will answer one of your questions. Season 4, we don't know when season 4 is coming out. We don't know how many
we don't know anything
are
about
going to be made.
4.
So when you, just to let people know, we're the composers. We only know about music stuff. So like, we're not gonna know stuff about like Terry Silver, and we're not gonna know stuff about like Mike Barnes and shit like that. Like we don't know anything about season 4. We don't know anything. Like your guess is as good as ours. We're happy to talk to you about it. We just don't know we have no information. You can even leave right now if you're not interested in hearing what we have to say.
Yeah, there were questions about will Terry Silver's theme be in season 4? So
I saw people tweeting about Terry Silver's theme, and I was like, that's news to
Wait,
me.
I actually
I don't know
really
what Terry-
like. Wait, I do like this one question though from Michael Carroll. Why wasn't there a Queen song in the new season?
That's a
oh,
question for Josh
Because-
Field.
Yeah,
Do you know
it's
the
re-
answer?
yeah,
I don't know the answer.
I don't know the answer, but it was discussed. Everyone likes to have Queen songs. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
It's always
Bohemian
discussed.
Yeah. I actually pinned the comment, so it won't go, it'll like stay at the top. So anyone, if you're
Sweet.
here, like
Great.
the link will stay at the top.
Yeah,
so
if you're here, you should open up a second tab and be listening to the album to just like get hyped. It's a great
just have it in
workout
the
album.
background. Yeah, just have it in the background. Are you guys gonna make I know you've talked about making like a workout playlist or a track or something?
Yeah, we keep talking about it, and then we never really make an official one.
We can make an unofficial one. We can just put one together,
we should actually, Zach. We could make I think we can make an artist playlist on our Spotify.
That's true. We could do it on
that is
on our
specific to
page.
that. But
Yeah.
one thing we struggle with, Drew, is like some of the really good workout songs are a little short, and so like kind of on the back burner, we like want to make some extended versions of stuff, but like, we need like some time when we're like not actively working on anything to like do that. So at some point, but yeah, we should do that. We should make the unofficial one.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would love to hear that. Because I literally have Slither and Like a Dance on repeat.
I mean, those are the best training ones.
I would have those two songs just on repeat, like, because those are my favorite workout ones. So season 3 took all of our favorite themes and revamped them in such an epic way while also introducing so many great new themes. Can you talk about what your guys' mindset was going to the season and how you wanted to go about scoring it?
Yeah.
We knew that he was going to Okinawa. That we kind of knew when everyone else found out that he was going, like we found out. And I think we wrote that Okinawa theme pretty early. Like it might have, I think even before they started shooting, just like we had it in our back pocket. And we have that, which you hear for the first time. It's called Return to Okinawa on the album, but you hear it for the first time when Daniel sees Kumiko dancing. And that was kind of our main brand new theme. And we knew that we wanted to have like, we wanted it to be special to Japan and very special for the season. And it was a big kind of homecoming for a lot of, not just Daniel, but a lot of fans. And we got the sanshin, the special instrument, guitar-like instrument from Okinawa. And what else did we do that was special this year, Leo? I mean, it was just off the charts in terms of the scale.
Yeah, I mean, I think our big approach to this season is like the scope of like the mythology gets so much bigger. Like you learn about Kreese's backstory. You learn a lot more about like the Miyagi-Do backstory. Like we're in Vietnam, we're in Okinawa, we're in the Valley. This like the legendarium of Cobra Kai like got a lot wider. And so for us, that created an opportunity to like sort of like get the score like a lot wider in terms of like how we're using themes and like how big we can make the themes and like with what colors we can use them. And I think a lot of that like really naturally came together. Like, we're scoring this like there's a lot of influences from like different things that we like to pull, like predominantly like 80s movies, but like within that there's a lot of different aesthetics that we like to like reference. Or not even reference. I would just say like in the like influence us, whether that is like, whether that is like, Vietnam 80s movies, like Rambo style to like 80s sports movies are like kind of a different aesthetic that we're really into to, the blood sport vibe.
Yeah. A lot of anime influence this year too.
A lot of anime
just like
influences.
Yeah.
And I think just because like the universe of the show kind of expanded so much in one season, we just tried to take advantage of that to like develop all the thematic material and introduce more thematic material as much as we could to just like help flesh out that mythology. Like it's like the show decided to do a ton of world building, and so we like dove into that head first.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Wait, Zach, I know you posted on your Twitter that instrument you were referencing, the Japanese.
Yeah, the Sanshin.
Yeah, wasn't that in the scene with
Yeah,
Daniel and Komiko?
it was nuts. I was watching it like, you know, like everybody else, and I was watching it, and it was crazy that I was just like in the background. I saw the Sanshin. It wasn't the exact same one, but it was what a cool attention to detail that the production designer and the set designers had to just put that instrument there, because it's not a common instrument, but it is native to Okinawa, so it made sense. That was cool. Yeah, that was awesome. I loved that. I hope that we can find places next season to use all that stuff too, you know? I mean, maybe he goes back to Okinawa. I don't know. Season 4. I don't know anything.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, that was a fun little Easter egg. I didn't notice it until you said it, but it was a cool Easter egg. So the season 3 score was for me at least was on a whole different level than seasons 1 and 2. Can you compare the differences between the season 3 score to the previous seasons you've done?
Yeah, it's season 1 started out really low key because we hadn't introduced orchestra until the very last episode. So like the scale of season 1 by the nature of it is just like super low key, a lot of guitar bass drums. And then it kind of progresses, I think, pretty linearly actually. Like, and then Leo, like kind of second season is like we add some more.
I would say like the finale of season 1 really set us up for season 2, which then kind of had a lot more like with like 2 dojos back and forth. We were like kind of building up 2 separate sounds and sets of themes that occasionally would smash together, and then season 3 like sort of like we were saying, it just kind of all got bigger and wider.
Yeah.
So, you know, we just keep kind of going up.
We're just gonna go up
think,
as long as the show whatever the show does, we're gonna do. Like if the show keeps wanting to like go up, then we gotta go up.
That's awesome. That makes me more excited for the season 4 soundtrack.
Yeah, we don't know what it's gonna sound like yet.
We don't know what it's gonna sound like. Yeah.
Do you have any like maybe themes that you didn't use, like themes that you wrote that you didn't use that could possibly appear in season 4?
I don't think so.
Like
some of the unused themes we used in the game. Like some of the unused like thrown out cues. We actually talked about this with Cobra Kai Companion, but the shopping mall, like for example, the shopping mall track on the game is actually a thrown out version of the original Hallway Hellscape. Like it's Hallway Hellscape V1 that like didn't make it. It got cut. So we had to rewrite it. And then we like, when we were doing the game, we were like, oh, we have this cool kind of like foundation for a new piece of music. Let's do it.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if we have any. Why did it get cut? I think it just like.
It just needed a more. It was a less cinematic track, I think.
Yeah. Always needed to be as what it is.
And none of us knew that until we started putting original music in there, because actually there was never any temp score in that scene. There was actually just a song. And the way songs, like as temp score, it was never going to be a song. And songs just kind of play very differently against picture, because they have kind of a more referential aspects to them. So then when we started putting music to it, we were like coming up with a foundation that had the same energy as the song, but it didn't have the same kind of just like cinematic build and interaction and thematic. Like,
tell them what the song was.
Hallway Hellscape ended up being like a very cinematic, thematic cue that is like building with all the themes, and that's the way it should have been. So, you know.
Well, I was going to say the song they tempted with was "Welcome to the Jungle." So like they put "Welcome to the Jungle," and that was like, okay, this is kind of what we're aiming for, and it turned out that it really wasn't. We ended up kind of going in a different direction.
Yeah, that's a cool Easter egg. It'd be kind of fun to see like it put together. But I remember you said that in the last interview, it got repetitive after 30
Yeah.
seconds. I could
Yes.
see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. 3.5 minutes is a long time.
Yeah.
in score world.
It's a very long time in the music world.
Yeah. Can you talk about, so there's obviously on the physical disc, you can get like bonus tracks, and how many are there? Around
It's
15?
a lot. It's a whole CD's worth this year.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
talk about how you chose what tracks would go in the bonus track? And like what are some of your favorites from there?
Yeah, the bonus tracks are fun because we don't really think about the bonus tracks until we figured out all the main tracks. And then it's like, okay, what did we cut? But actually should give some attention to.
Right.
What
sounds good.
Yeah, we really obsess over what's on the album and like the order of what's on the album. Like we really want to make it a very musical listening experience and like a self-contained listening experience. And so there's a lot of music from the show that just like doesn't fit in there, and we're just like, oh, like, yeah, that shouldn't be an album track. It doesn't deserve to be an album track. Like, but then when La La Land releases a physical, they love to have like extra stuff to put on the on like the bonus CD. On this one, we have so much extra stuff that we did like a whole CD extra. And then we go through the reject pile and see like, oh, actually this is a pretty cool cue. It's just really short. Like a lot of them are very short, which is why they don't make the cut. But it seems like people really like that stuff, so we are happy to share it.
Yeah. I just saw a chat that I had to bring up. Someone said Slither is the coolest song. I lost it already, but Slither is the coolest song. Why don't you use it in season 3? We did use it in season 3.
We used it all over in season 3.
Drew, let's quiz Drew. Drew, do you know which tracks we use Slither in?
Work Together.
Yes.
Work
Together is when Miguel is waking up at the end of the first episode, the montage.
Yeah.
Listen to it.
I don't know the name of the track.
There's another big one that I can think of, actually. There's one other
big one big one, but I think it's a pretty hard reference.
I know there's a couple, but at the end of episode 9, when Sam has that whole speech about like Cobra Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang teaming up. What was the name of that one again?
That's kind of the same.
It's very similar to the end of episode 1 because it's kind of like an arc before the finale. But the theme is different there. It's not the Slither theme. It's the Cobra Kai theme. But I think the accompaniment is still the Slither accompaniment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the other ones?
Looking at the comments. The other one was We Deserve the Chance.
Yes.
Yeah.
In that, but it's done like 80s inspirational sports movie style.
Yes.
It sounds like an Alan Silvestri score.
Yeah.
We went really hard in
we went really hard in the sports movie score this year.
Yeah.
We really wanted it to feel like Miracle, the movie from 2004.
Oh, somebody in the comments says it should have been the original Slither song.
Oh, okay.
So speaking of Slither, I had this question. I'll just ask it now since we're on the topic. So in episode 7 of season 3, Miguel had a training montage where Johnny was helping him to walk, and they had like a rock song over it. Was there any talk about that being the original Slither?
No, I think it was always a song.
I think the original Slither is going to remain the original Slither for all of eternity. It will only be that, like, when we get another chance to do a montage, we'll probably do another thing that will enter the pantheon of Like a Dance and Slither. Like, we'll keep it there because we don't, we actually don't love to reuse those types of cues. A lot of the cues that we end up kind of reusing, especially when you're 3 seasons deep into a show and there's tons of music, a lot of the transitions, the kind of 10 to 15 second little small pieces of music that would not be album worthy, to be honest. Those are the ones that we kind of reuse the most because they're so kind of they're just easy to kind of like, we have all the themes. We have like, oh, it's a Daniel sad transition. Okay, well, we have that already. So let's just use it. It's a very quick moment. But we tend not to reuse very like note for note, very like big pieces that we've already done. We like to, I mean, like you,
because we got to write new ones because we need material for our album.
For example, like the I'm a Sensei on our new album, which you so keenly made a video out before you knew it was I'm a Sensei, but you picked up on that it was Johnny's story, but we didn't want to use Johnny's story there. We wanted to do something else, right? So like that's a good example of kind of how we work with that, with material that we've already done.
Yeah. And I think I got the TORY and Sam fight one right. Do you remember the one you teased about their theme?
Sure did.
That was from.
What did you post, Zach? Did you post Nightmare?
No.
The Cobra effect. The Cobra.
Well, it's actually technically not the Cobra effect.
Oh, it was on the next.
Yeah.
What is it?
Snap.
It's Snap.
Snap. Yeah. The connecting one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny when I looked at comments of what people said to you, like on the Johnny Story one. They're like, "Dude, like, bro, this is not the same song." And I was like, "You're wrong. You got it right." You nailed that, dude. Seriously, you nailed that. In fact, I got like really nervous that John, Josh, and Hayden were gonna get like mad at me because like I posted that when no one was like watching the show, like, and I didn't think it was gonna get like completely exploited. So I don't know if there's going to be a lot of that in season 4. I gotta say, if there is, it'll be brand new material. It won't be material that everyone can deduct fucking scenes from.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I really got too much from it. Like, I actually rewatched it recently, not the whole thing, but I rewatched a little bit. And I was just saying, oh, it's Johnny's theme for like 10 minutes straight. I don't think I really came up with anything like.
I mean, you said that it was like kind of sad or whatever. It was like reflective, I think would be the scene. This is when Johnny is writing a message to Allie on Facebook. Like, it's like a reflective scene. That's kind of Johnny's story music is very reflective. Like, he's always telling a story, right?
Yeah. I like that. I like that theme. Is there do you have ideas or for like another rendition of that? Because like
I think we've got I mean, if they want to go to 6 seasons, we're gonna have to make some.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to make some ideas.
I don't know, when you have like themes like that, you don't really think about like how to use them until you like kind of have an opportunity to use them. And it's like we're not always on the lookout for a place to use them either. It's more like, okay, what are the objectives of this scene? And like, how are we going to tie it into the rest of the score? And sometimes just in terms of character arc, it really makes sense to like grab a theme and then like reinterpret it.
Yeah.
Zach, people are very upset from the comments and on Twitter that we did not include This Ends Tonight on.
Yeah, I know. I saw
we really should have made that a bonus track.
So This Ends Tonight is, for everyone interested, This Ends Tonight is the moment when Tori and her goons break into the LaRusso house in 310 in the final episode. And they break into the LaRusso house, and it's hinting at Carol of the Cobras, but it's not quite Carol of the Cobras. And we didn't include that because it was like a 40-second piece of music that it just like didn't work.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It didn't quite have a home.
I'm sorry.
I was actually looking for that one.
I know it sounds good on that. When I was watching, I was like, "Oh, this sounds good," but I'm sorry.
But it does appear in like there's a little snippet in Carol of the Cobras.
Yeah, it's got the same accompaniment.
Right, it's the dun 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 dun, which is Carol the Bells.
Does that like? Do you have to ask like for permission to use that? Because it's a
public domain. That's public domain, which means that it's free. Basically, it's free. Like you have the rights to re-record, but you don't have the rights to a specific recording. So you can do whatever you want as long as it's your arrangement and your recording.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, a lot of Christmas music is like that.
Yeah. So when you read a script for the first time, can you like, if you're like reading a scene, like for example, if you're reading a Johnny scene, do you hear like Johnny's theme when you're like as you're reading, or does it take like time to figure out like what theme's gonna go with the scene?
We almost never read the scripts ahead of time. We usually wait until we watch the episode with John, Josh, and Hayden and have like a spotting session. Because we like to go in cold and like react in real. Yeah. Like we like to react in real time to what is like what the drama is, because then it sort of informs like how we should like make it feel for the viewer. And like if we read the script ahead of time, then we'd have like too many preconceived notions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So season 3 was the darkest season of Cobra Kai by far, and as the season got darker, so did the score. So how did it feel like composing like those darker pieces of music? Is that like something you guys like are into? Do you like composing that kind of music?
Yeah.
Good question. I think so. I think it's just fun to change it up a little bit. It's just nice, like tonally.
Let's brainstorm. What do we think like the darkest things on the soundtrack are? Dark Hawk, obviously.
Dark Hawk is
Dark Hawk, yeah.
Which is sick.
That's crazy.
Snap's pretty fucked up.
Snap is really dark. And
The
Dojo from Hell is pretty dark, but like cool dark.
That one was amazing. I like how you guys did that one, because it's like if you listen to it by itself, it's not a scary track, but in the scene, it's terrifying with the music.
So Drew, here's another pop quiz. What material is Dojo from Hell referencing?
What like scene?
The music in the theme that is used in Dojo from Hell is referencing another song from season 3.
Is it the beginning? Like the beginning part?
Yeah. How about this? First person that can tell me what track that is referencing that is earlier on in the album will get a free CD from me and Leo.
Oof.
That we will sign. If you can tell me what I haven't seen anyone say this yet. If you can tell me what Dojo from Hell is referencing, what other track Dojo from Hell is referencing, then you will get a CD from me and Leo.
I have no idea.
Sign.
Can you guys see the
I'll
chat?
keep the chat open. I'll keep the chat open. I haven't seen it yet. But
someone said dual the snakes or Ouroboros.
Oh no.
It's neither of those.
Are they answering this question? Oh, I see.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about other stuff, and you guys can do your research.
Yeah. People can guess.
If it comes up, Again, the question is what Dojo from Hell, that melody? Where else is that melody? And you have to give me the track. You have to give me the track name.
Is it the same track name? Is it like the same theme? Like
it's the same theme. It's the same theme. All right. I don't want you to talk about it, Drew. Though I want them to get it.
Okay, because I have no idea. So moving on, and then if you guys see it, you could just shout it out. So in season 3, we saw themes such as Sam and Robbie during the TORY and Sam fight, and then Mr. Miyagi's theme in Miyagi Metal get turned into like the epic rock ballads. So what was it like turning those like very slow themes into like an epic fight or a rock melody?
That's a great question.
This is about at least for me, like one of our favorite parts of doing the show is when we like really mix. We've got all the themes, and like they all start in on certain instrumentation, but they like don't have to stay there. And then we've got kind of these like sound worlds for the different parts of the story. Miyagi-Do tends to be more orchestral, although like I don't know if that rule exists anymore. And
hey, we got it. Wait, sorry to interrupt you. Someone got it. The first person I see, Alice Coyote, 2007, the Cobra Effect. There it is.
Oh, the fight in the laser tag?
It's the laser tag fight. Boom, 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 ba-da-dun, dun, da-do,
No.
boom, boom,
Oh,
boom,
yes,
boom,
yes.
boom, boom. All right, Alice,
I-
we'll have to figure a way out to get your information, but you are getting a CD. Congratulations. Good work.
Yeah,
Do you want? Should she like email me or something?
Yeah, email
And then-
Cobra Kai
that's a
Kid.
great idea.
Just
Email Drew.
Email me, and then
Pin-
I'll talk to you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Alice, email me Cobra Kai Kid 1 at gmail.com. There's like a link in the description too. So congrats, Alice.
Nice. Oh, you pinned it up there. That's very nice.
Yeah. And if you guys wanna I mean you don't have to you don't have to give away another free disc if you want to, but
Yeah, whatever. If we have another, if we think of another good question, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, we think of a good one.
I didn't mean to interrupt
Cool.
you, Leo. I'm sorry. I saw that.
I don't know. I'm always on a roll. So like
I think yes. I think also we never get to use Sam's theme in a fight.
or we haven't up until now.
We haven't. Sorry, we haven't. She fights, but we just haven't used it because it's never really been a Sam centric fight. But we did it in Nightmare as well, and we did it in whatever that track is called, album.
Dojo
must
Fire.
not lose. No, must not lose. To
must
fear.
not lose to fear.
Oh.
Yeah,
Which-
and then yeah.
Yeah, and I think that I think one reason why that's really satisfying in the finale is because one thing this season did really well, and I think I've been really excited when I like read this and all the reviews is like people respond really strongly to Sam's sort of like PTSD storyline in this season, and like, you know, eventually confronting and overcoming her like psychological block when it comes to TORY. And so like I think that is just really satisfying when you hear that theme in the score, because like you've got this like whole season of buildup that is like the opposite of that in terms of our character progression with Sam, and then like boom, she conquers it. She does not lose to fear.
So I actually kind of took the in Nightmare when you heard the theme, I kind of took that as like, because it's Sam and Robbie's theme and it's also Miguel and Sam's theme. So I kind of took it as like TORY fighting Sam because of like those relationships, obviously, and because of the people that Sam hurt. Was that kind of what inspired it?
It's kind of just a Sam centric theme. Like I don't know if it's in particular tied to another character. I think the first time you hear it is in season 1, like episode 5 or 6, when, well, actually the first time we ever hint it is episode 1 or no, episode 2 where Miguel is in the cafeteria. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah.
But it didn't have a melody. It just was the chords. And then we wrote the melody for episode 6 where we call it Snake Charmer on the first album on the CD. But that is the first time we hear like Sam's theme. And then it kind of gets fully developed. I think the next season with Sam and Robbie is kind of the one that we've settled. We really like that kind of sound. And this year for this album there's a track called Start Over, which is kind of going back to the season 1 version of Sam's theme. And we did a live version of Sam and Robbie, which we really like too. Like hopefully maybe we could do, you know, incorporate more of that in a season going forward or something. If they get, I mean, I don't know if they're going to get back together. They're pretty.
I want to
far
bust
apart
that.
right
When we played Sam and Robbie, we did that on our live set. Like Zach said, when we played it in Spain, we had a string quartet play on it, and it was pretty sick. I'd love to like get that rocking again
for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome. That's a top 5 theme for me. That Sam and Robbie theme.
I think, but I think like ultimately like we just like that's the stuff we really revel in, is like switching up the palette and like interpretation of the themes in like a way that like, you know, I would say if there's like one thing we try to achieve each season, it's to like present some of the same melodies in a way you haven't heard them yet. And so, you know, season 3 just offered a lot of that, and like that's what, you know,
right.
That's how we get our jollies.
Yeah. Ariel Castillo asks, is somebody else going to die in the series? Because I just want to know, like, if Cobra Kai, one of the students going to die, or Eagle Fang or Miyagi students going to die. Everyone dies. Like,
everyone's
dead.
Yeah,
everyone's dead.
I kind of knew that already.
Yeah, I mean, you're a Cobra Kai kid. You picked up on that.
It was hinted in the first episode. I'm kidding. So I think this season something that I picked up on, I'll just give you like because I can't name like every track that I've heard it in, but in Cobra
Unbelievable.
Look, give me 1 week and I'll
Okay.
I'll be able to get it. You can quiz me again if you want. In Cobra Effect, the fight at the jail, the juvie, and then the laser tag, you heard the quiver theme, but was that a synthesizer that was used to play that?
Yeah.
Because that was heard. That was like you used that a lot, right? Like synthesizer throughout the season.
Yeah, definitely. And I think actually it was this one that's sitting right next to me, which is the Prophet 08. But yeah, that quiver, the dun 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 dun, like that's kind of evolved into like the Cobra Kai as a dojo theme, I would say. I feel like that is kind of like our go-to, like if Miyagi-Do has their theme in Cobra Kai, that's kind of what we use for them now. It first originated with Hawk, but now is kind of more, it encompasses a lot more. But yeah, we're always like down to play a certain melody on a different instrument that we normally don't play it on. It's not on guitar this time, it's on synth. That track always kind of reminds me of just kind of like a Dance Dance Revolution song. Excuse me. But yeah, that's a fun one. We love that one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm loving this comment that Marvin D. Talbert Sr. just wrote.
Is it
Cobra Effect and Dojo from Hell gives me Ivan Drago entrance music vibes? Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I mean, Rocky 4. What else is there to say?
I've never watched Power Rangers, but I've actually there was a comment that I forgot which part, but they said like some of the score like sounded like Power Rangers. What did you?
It's an influence for us.
Right, I retweeted that, and someone wrote like, "This sounds like Power Rangers," and I retweeted it and said, "Please be a compliment."
Power Rangers is an influence. Like we grew up on Power Rangers in the 90s. Like, so I think there's a you see teens punching each other and you just like want to jam.
And by the way, Drew, like for someone that, because you're a freak and you're young, like to explain to you what Power Rangers was, also just kind of when we were growing up, like the vibe of Power Rangers was there's a lot of similarities to Cobra Kai in the sense that like it's very it's super fun. Like you never feel like, for some of these fights rather in Cobra Kai, that remind, like it's very like fun. It's really energetic. There's lots of guitars. Like it just, I think that we kind of like internalize that a lot too when we're writing. Like just that kind of that feeling. I think what makes Cobra Kai a really successful show is the ability to, when it needs to be really, really serious, it will be. But like also when there's like a mall fight and the entire, city knows karate, like you need to have the music reflect that. And I think that's what makes it like so special. And Power Rangers is a very big influence for Leo and I because of that type of tone. How it was able to hit that tone. Yeah. And Miyagi Metal is a pretty Power Rangers-esque vibe.
Yeah. Like so if I wanted to check it out, like and see like what do you suggest?
Power Rangers? Like
Power
or like
Rangers the episodes? Music. Like the music. Like what like
honestly, like the Power Rangers video game music is the best.
Yeah,
the best.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the side scroller is like unbelievable.
It's the best. It's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, you know the theme though, right? You know the Power Rangers theme, or do you not know it?
Is it like go Power Rangers?
Yeah. See, okay, so it's cross generation.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
Well, didn't Power Rangers have like, I'm sure, wasn't there like a reboot or something or some like? I feel like there was a newer version.
They did like the gritty reboot a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I don't think it worked that well.
Wait, I see a good question in the comments that I think we should address.
Yeah.
Which is talking straight with Nate says he was about to ask which synths we are using.
Okay.
And I think we use a fair amount, so both hardware and software. So we should just we should talk. As Zach mentioned, He's got a Prophet 8 over there. I have a Prophet 6 right here. We've got we use a lot of Korg M1. We have we use the software version, and I have a hardware one. Although it's currently in the studio storage. Once we start season 4, I'll have to get that out. Zach's got a Roland D50, which I think has some of the best presets that get used in Cobra Kai. And then Zach, what do we use software synth wise?
We use Omnisphere, and we use some of the Arturia.
Yeah,
ones.
Omnisphere specifically has a lot of like resampled hardware stuff. Like I like their Juno sounds a lot. I feel like those find their way into things a lot. What's that one with an S that we like? Spire. Spire's pretty good.
Spire's good too. Yeah.
Yeah. How many settings does each one have?
A lot.
A lot. This thing's got like 1,000 presets.
Oh,
but
wow.
I mean, it also like, who needs presets? Like there's like, you can just program the sound however you want if you've got some synthesis skills, which I have. I would say medium low.
I see two people asking the same question that I want to answer to real quick. It says,
Great.
Did you guys Marvin said, did you guys release sheet music as well? And someone else wrote, holy sheet music. We actually are going to release guitar tabs for Miyagi Metal probably next week.
Oh, cool.
So you can download them if you have the application called Guitar Pro. We also have like a Guitar Pro file for that. So that's like you can play along in real time, stop it, start it, play it at whatever speed you want. But yeah, I think we should do more tabs because people like them. We should do a few more.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask.
We should make tabs for Johnny's story.
Yeah.
Do you use tabs, Drew?
I'm not like the best at soloing, but I feel like Johnny's story, like I could play like the beginning. Once it gets to the end and it's all like, I can't do that. But like I feel like the tabs would be good because I kind of play like the tracks by ear. So, but I'm not.
Word. Yeah.
I feel like I would need to like see the tabs just for the more complicated stuff. So that would be cool. I would love that. Are you guys familiar with Chordify, the app Chordify?
No.
So it's like an app where it like takes songs from YouTube and like generates the chords like automatically. So
whoa.
Yeah, so like that's how I'm able to figure out like the chords for Cobra Kai if I'm playing on piano. It like automatically takes it from YouTube. So if you guys search up Chordify, it's like all your songs are there. I'm sure the season 3 songs will be like automatically.
Yeah.
It's like computerized. It automatically does it.
That's fun.
It's awesome. I love it.
Wow.
But it's just
Super
chords.
cool.
Yeah, no tabs. But yeah. So, what were some of your favorite instruments that you used in season 3?
Zach, do you have it? The Sanshin?
Yeah, I'll have to pull it out. Give me a sec. Leo can answer first.
Let's see. Season 3. Well, let's see. There's a couple cool like new sounds. So one thing, this Prophet that I was showing before, we used a lot in the Vietnam tracks, a lot of the Vietnam section, because we were just like I think actually right before we scored some of that, I had gone and watched the Coppola Redux of Apocalypse Now that they re-released in theaters last year or in 2019, and God, the score in Apocalypse Now is freaking crazy. I mean, it's just like weird synthesizer stuff, and I think we were just thinking about that and like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to like, again, just like kind of nod in that direction in terms of palette, with the with some of the score for the Vietnam flashbacks. So there's a lot of stuff in the Vietnam track. The Snake in the Grass is the big Vietnam track that's on the digital album, and you hear that that kind of Awake the Snake theme, but on these like really stretched out synthesizers that are like very disorienting and like detuned, and that I think was a really cool instrument we did this season. And then Zach has brought
the Ascension. I broke a string on it like right after we recorded it, so it's only 2 strings right now. But this is the Ascension, which is from Okinawa. It's not in tune at all. But it's like got this little claw pick. It's 3 strings normally. It's fretless. This is like actually a beautiful like kind of like carbon fiber neck, and it's like a snakeskin body. And yeah, it's cool. It's a beautiful instrument, and like it's really similar to a lot of other kind of like ethnic instruments that have kind of like a key, and you stay within that key when you play it. And it's got a kind of drone element to it. But we use it on tons of stuff, and we use it on like obviously Return to Okinawa. We use it on Miyagi-Do Temple. Whoa, what is that? It's called Crane Technique, right? We changed that. We use it on Secrets of Miyagi-Do. I Forgive You for the people that get the CD, but it's a great instrument. It felt really cool to like get something from Okinawa and use it. Yeah, so in terms of new stuff, that's what we did.
Was that pick that you were using? Was it on your finger?
Yeah, it's like literally, it's like a talon. It's like a claw. Wow. Yeah, it's really interesting. I think I'm not using it correctly. Like I don't really know if you're supposed to be strumming it or picking it, you know.
Yeah.
It's there. I mean, the little ethnomusicology journey here. There's I mean, it's kind of in the banjo family. And banjos, you also use like I think they call it a comb for what you've got, Zach. But they have like finger picks that you use, and a lot of the time it's to amplify the sound. It makes it a lot louder when you are like picking with it. And the banjo actually comes from Africa. So, you know, this instrument, I don't know where it connects on the family tree, but there's definitely some relation.
The instrument is called the Sanshin, Sanshin, for people asking. Leo is giving me Paul Rudd vibes. That's like the best.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I need like
Cobra Kai music is pizza music. I want that tattooed on my body.
like when you eat pizza? Is that what
I don't know. What does that mean?
I don't know. It could mean anything. Or just like delivering pizzas. Like
yeah.
I mean, exactly.
Duel of the Snakes did take inspiration from Duel of the Fates. I'm looking at that comment.
And if you guys watched
in terms of the name,
it's the ultimate
in terms of the name.
How do you not use that?
Right.
Like, it's the best track name pun ever.
Sorry, Drew.
Oh no, it's fine. Was that name like one of the first? Like, did you have that name from the beginning? Or?
No, it came out. I mean, here's the thing. Like that, the names evolve as we work on the thing, because when we come out of like a spotting session and start working, like we've broken it all up into just like most of the cues have names that are just like exactly what is happening. Or like a good example would be the cue right before that in like that Vietnam flashback. It's the first part of the mega edit, and it's called
Snake Bitten on the album.
Snake Bitten on the album that was just called The Pit when we were working on it, which is still a pretty badass name.
Yeah.
But you know, they're very literal, or sometimes they're just like a quote that somebody says. And then as we're working on the scene, we usually come up with a different idea for the title. And then a lot of the times, even then, we rename it later when we're like putting the album together, because we like having badass names. But Duel of the Snakes came about while we were working on it. I think it started as something else, but probably just like Johnny versus Kreese. was what it started as.
Yeah,
And then
something like that,
and then it became, and then was like, oh, obviously we should call this like Duel of the Snakes. Like it's the best pun ever.
Yeah.
Well,
And
because also like Snake Fight was in the first time they fought in season 2. So like, you know, we had to really amplify on that title.
yeah, it's the perfect name. And what I like is some of the tracks from season 3 like are kind of a callback to things that were said in season 1. So two-time champion when Daniel's with Sam at the tournament, you know, that was some like Daniel told Tom Cole, you know, he was two-time champion. So is that where you got it from, or was it just because he was a two-time champion in that scene?
I think we took that from the dialogue in
in the new
actually
season.
it's the who's the guy, what's the character's name who
I don't know.
who's
that
like
character's name.
he's like the Ron on the karate board.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he says to Daniel, like, oh, who better to do it than the two-time champ? And I think when we wrote that cue on the album is actually 2 different cues from the show. It's one from episode 6 and one from 7 and one from 8, maybe. I forget what happens in each. One is when Daniel and Sam are like at the Matadome in the arena, and we called that one All Valley Arena at the time. And then we combined it with a cue from the next episode when Ron visits him at the dojo and says like, oh, who better to go plead the case than the two-time champ? And then the edited track just sounded too serious to call it two-time champ. So we call it two-time champion.
Yeah.
These are the things we think about all the
Drew,
time.
we also have to change. We have to change a bunch of the track names if they have spoilers in them. So we can't have
that too.
They have to be somewhat vague. So a lot of the snake puns kind of work because you can't quite tell what it is. But we sent all the track names to JJH before, and they nixed a lot of them. We had things that we didn't think were spoilers. They were trying to keep things really under wraps just in case it leaked or anything.
Like what kind of things?
Oh, keep going.
Well, the pit, we changed the pit. The pit we changed just in case anyone made some video, like you or something, made some video about what is the pit. I don't know. Well, Challenger was called Crease's Challenge at first, but we didn't want to say like who was giving the challenge. What else was like? A two-time champ was called like all back at the All Valley or something.
All Valley Arena.
Or Angels in the what was it?
Cobras in the
outfield. Cobras in the outfield. I don't know.
No, we deserve the chance was called like Saving the All Valley for a bit.
Oh, right. We couldn't say
and like that's a big spoiler. So we rename everything from like what we do. Wait, somebody asks Chopsticks and Flies, aka Rick G, asked, what's the most unconventional thing we've done to create a sound for a song? I don't know. Do we have a good one from Cobra Kai? I know Zach has done some cool sampling in his time. He made a really cool sound scraping his chair once.
For Cobra Kai, I think the chants are kind of cool. I mean, the chants are. Is it you or just me, Leo?
It's both of us. Just like grunting.
Yeah, you know how on all the tracks, and we know everyone misses the one in Like a Dance. We all know it's not on the album. I'm sorry, everybody. But the ones that like, yeah, key, the ones that we have on a bunch of tracks, that is me and Leo mixed with a few samples. But like,
we like took some samples and then like sampled ourselves and added.
So that's us grunt, like doing.
That's you guys.
Yeah,
well,
it's
mixed sample, like it's
with stuff.
Like from Slither, was that you guys?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
What like I don't know what else. Like we don't do anything cool. I don't know what other cool stuff we do. We'll have to think about that.
Tony135 says Duel of the Snakes mega edit was a great idea, and I just want to give credit to John Josh and Hated, who basically told us that we had to put on the album like the 10-minute like non-stop version, because that's we had made that when we mixed it. Like we made that version also. Like it's really 5 cues stuck together. And and we hadn't decided whether like there was a spot to put like a 10-minute track on the album, or if that was like self-indulgent and we should just split them up, and like, you know, if people have I don't know, the attention span for it, and they were like, you have to do that, so we did it. And you know,
Yeah.
I'll give them full credit. Where are people are talking about our hair? Do Zach and Leo both have mullets? I don't think this is a mullet. It's
Yeah,
like,
I
mine's
actually
too
have a
long.
mullet.
in the
Leo
front
doesn't.
to be a mullet. Zach's got a mullet.
I literally got it cut as a mullet. So let's talk about
Yeah.
Cobra Kai. Let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
What else you got, Drew?
All right, so now I want to talk to you guys about Awake the Snake. So
Beautiful.
yeah, so a lot to talk about there. So for those of you who don't know, and you guys could like comment. So Awake the Snake was on the season 1 soundtrack, but we only heard it in the season 2 finale. And I'm not sure if I heard this right. Maybe I'm wrong, but was Awake the Snake originally going to replace Sirius at the end of season 1, episode 1, when Johnny opens back the Cobra Kai dojo?
So I would actually say it's almost the opposite. It would say that we wrote Awake the Snake before Sirius, and then Sirius replaced Awake the Snake, is kind of like how it ended up being. But it ended up working out, obviously. Like, Sirius works really, really well there. Awake the Snake, we put on the album because we just loved the piece of music so much. And we just like, we're not going to let it just sit in obscurity. And then we ended up finding a home for it at the end credits of season 2.
Right.
And
it
then
worked great.
And then season 3 is when we really kind of like dove in and used that material for a lot of Kreese's backstory music. Like, it's kind of the Awake the Snake theme, like that melody is do 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 do. Leo can play it. Exactly. So we use that more so than we ever did this season, because I think Leo and I both, I don't even know if we ever even like really discussed it. It just kind of, we both psychically knew that it was this kind of like, it truly is this, it represents the origins of Cobra Kai. It represents like the new beginnings or whatever. Like, there's something like very like primordial about it to us. So that's kind of where we use it. Yeah, we're glad you picked up on that. People ask us all the time, like, where is it in season 1? And it's not in season 1.
It's not.
You just put on the album. Yeah.
Because I was always wondering that, but when I heard it in season 3, I was shocked, but it was awesome, and it's used so well and in a lot of different variations. So
Thanks.
Yeah. So one of my favorite uses of that theme was in episode 7, at the end of episode 7, when Kreese confronts Johnny.
Leo loves that.
This is my favorite scene in the season.
It's so epic.
This is one of the 5 things I want a GIF of, is him putting on the sunglasses and the chicka-chow.
That's my favorite. He puts it on right in front of Johnny's face, and you like that
He's
was
wearing his pea coat. He looks like like he's like Morpheus from the Matrix. Like, there's so much going on there in the like
in the public park.
Yeah. Yeah, that's in so actually the track Addition by Subtraction on the album goes into that. It starts as the end of episode 2, actually, with a flashback, one of the young Kreese flashbacks, when he is about to get on the bus to basic training. And then in the show, it went into like an orchestral version of Awake the Snake, which was one of the first times we were like, oh man, this sounds great on strings, which was a very good discovery, because by the time we hit the finale, that became like essential. But then on the album, we actually cut to this cue we did it at the end of 307, which is another like orchestral Awake the Snake, but just like a little more dramatic and awesome, and like builds to that awesome moment. So it made like a nice piece of standalone music.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. It puts on the sunglasses. It's so cool.
I got a
okay.
shout out in the chat. We got Andres Loxy in the chat.
Oh, really?
Andres is the music editor on Cobra Kai.
Oh,
He's
really?
basically the third composer. Yeah, there he is. Everyone say hi to Andres and respect
Andres,
him because he delivers.
Andres, one of his favorite moments is also the crease sunglass moment.
So I'm gonna real quick. I'm just gonna say like what Andres does. So like when we go and Andres is a huge part of the composing team. Like the music editor is a very big part of the team. And what we do is like we go in and we spot the scenes. We sit down with John, Josh, and Hayden, and we watch the episodes. And we're all fans, and we get really excited, and we scream when stuff happens or whatever. And then we walk out, and we say to each other, "What the fuck are we gonna do? How are we gonna score this? How are we gonna score this episode?" And what Andres does is he's in charge. Andres, as a music editor, is basically the liaison between the composers and the production team, especially when the music goes from being written and recorded to actually getting placed into the final mix of the episode. So when we record everything, like it goes to Andres, all the orchestra, all the final mixes, everything goes to Andres. And then he is at the stage where they do the final mix with John, Josh, and Hayden. And he's making changes without us knowing. If John, Josh, or Hayden have a last minute note about the music, like they'll say, hey, can we have like the guitar actually hit a little bit like earlier? We want like a guitar hit to hit Crease's face at this moment. Andres will just cut it because he has all the stems. So and he's musical, so he can make it so that it makes sense. There's a lot of times like me and Leo are watching episodes after it's premiered, and we'll see that Andres made a cut that he didn't tell us about, and we like him to not tell us about it because we don't want to have any drama. We just want him to take care of it. And Don, Josh, and Hayden trust him completely. And we trust him completely. So he's like this very like crucial role. Music editor is a very like crucial role in this. And they don't get enough credit. So we're telling you all about what he does because he's like
Andre, as the comments say, Andres the Giant delivers.
So if when you send it to him, are you sending like if you're sending one track, is it like you're sending the guitar, then the drums like all separately, and then he puts it all together
for the final? So our after we've like written and recorded everything, our mix engineer Phil mixes it, and then when he like prints the mix, he prints it on stems exactly like that, and then sends it to Andres for the mix stage, because then the mixers have a lot more control over like, you know, what speakers to make sure all the sounds are in, and like if sometimes things sound a little different, like when you get to the mix stage and you have competing frequencies with dialogue and sound effects, and so they want to, you know, scoop a little of this out and add a little more of the guitars to make them cut through. And so that's one reason you have the mixes, and the other is because then Andres can like make edits seamlessly that like, I mean, I don't even notice them half the time. Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just saw a good question. I feel like we've been asked this too. F1. How did you guys remove the music when the flashback of Daniel using the drum tech he chose it? What I think you're asking is in episode 5 of season 3 in the beginning, how did we like rescore that scene?
Oh,
because,
yeah. This is the original.
So the something that's really special about Cobra Kai is that they have access, like the team, not us necessarily, but the team has access to all the original Karate Kid cuts without the soundtrack attached to it. So they have the ability to like open up a scene like that one in Karate Kid 2 of Chosen coming down on the zip line or whatever. So we had to rescore that scene. They had the ability to isolate the audio. We had to rescore it because they are only allowed to use a certain amount of Bill Conti per episode. And we had already hit the Bill Conti limit on episode 5, season 3. So Leo, do you want to add anything about that cue?
Yeah, I don't even I mean, that was really fun. So yeah, we rescored that whole scene. It's also like the original score for that wouldn't have worked in the context of like the story getting told now. And actually, I don't think there was music for some of that as he's like approaching. So it was a fun little assignment because we really tried to make that cue sound a little bit like an old school film cue, in terms of like the harmony that the strings are doing. And like, there's that one thing that makes us laugh is like, there's this really random like English horn solo in the middle that's like, sounds like Stravinsky for like 5 seconds. like it's all these like really like retro references in like the orchestral side of the palette. And but like drama wise, that scene had a bunch of different needs than it does when it's like the climax of Karate Kid 2, because here what it is kind of playing like Daniel's anxiety is this like panic attack that ends with like present day Chosen. So we tried to like capture the spirit of like what that would sound like if it was written in like 1985 or whenever Karate Kid 2 came out. But you know, score the current story.
Yeah. And I gotta say, like, that music I think was the most, like, it doesn't sound like anything that you guys have done, which I thought was really cool because it's a completely new thing. It's Karate Kid Part 2, and it's like a fight scene from Karate Kid Part 2. So it shouldn't have that Cobra Kai feel because it's like from Karate Kid. So I found that really cool that it was completely different. And it actually gave me a lot of like, I'm a really big Indiana Jones fan. It sounded like an Indiana Jones fight scene. Was that an inspiration in that?
I don't know if it was an inspiration, but like, again, Indiana Jones is like a different facet of like 1980s scoring. It's just the more Amblin orchestral, like wacky action Harrison Ford thing. And so, yeah, like we like to tap into like all of those little things from the time period. There's another kind of retro orchestral cue on the album in this season that also sounds nothing like anything. Although thematically it has a couple seeds planted from elsewhere, but it's well, actually, do you know what it is, Drew? What I'm gonna say?
I have no idea.
It's
I wasn't sure.
Drive-ins and Dojos, which is the music playing during like the Kreese flashback fight with Martin's son, Jesse Cove, plays the bully, and they're in the back parking lot. And like that one also, it sounds like nothing else in the show. It like, in fact, it doesn't even sound 80s. It sounds like when we were
Leonard
working
Bernstein
on it,
was kind of
it sounds like Leonard Bernstein. It's like on the waterfront or something, like that kind of scoring. But if you break it down, there's a bunch of Kreese theme nuggets in there. Like we've got that rhythm we play a lot that's like bump.
It's not coming through, Leo.
Okay, forget it.
You've got a weird patch on there.
Bump is in there. And then there's the you know, our Kreese theme that is kind of the bum 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 is also in that cue all over the place, but like you wouldn't recognize it because the harmony is so different. It almost sounds like a fanfare kind of thing. And so like, this season let us do a couple one-offs that were kind of different and special.
Yeah, it was cool that the Kreese theme was, you know, this was Kreese's season a lot more than season 2. So it was cool to see, because you didn't really hear that theme too much in season 2. So it was cool to get to explore more into different variations, especially in like the fights and all that.
Yeah.
To show like his influence. I made a video on that.
I know, we saw that. We love that.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw that one?
The Word the Opponent video. And we do that a lot this season too. We have it, I think, both at the end of Snap and at the end of Dark Hawk, which are kind of similar in theme, like emotionally similar in theme. Like we have the Kreese theme playing because it's Hawk kind of like reconciling what he's done, and it's all Kreese's influence.
Yeah, it's cool, like symbolism. I like that
symbolism.
All right, so Cobra, you know, we were talking about like Star Wars and Cobra Kai, and there's a lot of similarities in terms of the story, and there's also musical similarities. Did the John Williams Star Wars soundtrack, like such as like Duel of the Snakes, like did like the specific music kind of inspire you with the season 3 score?
A little bit. Again, it's like it's another side of that like 1980s style of scoring, just like a different, more of the Empire Strikes Back version of it, I guess. Um, I think like by the time you get to the end of this season, the stakes are so high, and the like the emotional arc of the story in that last like 16 minutes of the finale is just like brought us to a place where like the only way we felt we could like really tell it was to like lean hard into that level of like orchestral drama. And even within that, we still, it's all the same themes. We're still using our palette. I mean, there's a large stretch of Duel of the Snakes that reminds me of like Worthy Opponent, for example, in the way it combines like the drumming with the like guitar chugging with the orchestra. But yeah, there's a I don't know. I guess they've reached from the same kind of like pond of storytelling, I would say.
Yeah.
Is that also Zach? Like, would you say that's a good way to describe it?
Yeah, and the only thing I would add is that John, Josh, and Hayden at our very first meeting told us that Karate Kid is their Star Wars, like quote unquote. And I think, I don't want to speak for them, but after kind of what we did in season 1 and at the end of season 1, when we kind of showed that like, oh, we could have an orchestra like every episode for a 30-minute show, like we could do that, and we could really raise the stakes musically. Like, I think that allowed kind of, them hopefully, I think they've always had these ideas. They've always had these really, really, really big ideas. And us as composers need to like try to, help them out with those visions. And I think that when they knew that they could get this from us too, like if they didn't trust that like we could give them this kind of like Star Wars level thing, then we wouldn't be, we just wouldn't be composing for the show. And like it really was like everything I think was leading to this point. Like,
yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities like in just in like storytelling. I mean, like the Karate Kid, Cobra Kai, Star Wars, like they're all like classic hero's journey stories.
Yeah.
And like, those archetypes are at play, and therefore like they make you as an audience feel similar things, like similar moments of like anguish and triumph. And I think because the score is so highly thematic, like you get into a world where like you're starting to like that level of scoring, like that the way to, I mean, the number of we did this like breakdown for Consequence of Sound on the Duel of the Snakes mega edit. If you haven't read it, it's actually like pretty interesting, I think, where we kind of go through and we kind of hit 5 different spots and talked about like how we use the themes in there. But we could write like a 50-page version of that, because every bar of that, which is like hundreds of bars, is using thematic material that we've been setting up for 3 seasons, like interplaying with each other. And the only way you can like have that much interaction and interplay is really with like a 90-piece orchestra, because you need all those colors to trade and like have like working on top of each other and like playing at the same time without like, it's just this like very balanced way to like achieve that kind of musical storytelling. And so I think it just kind of naturally hits the same type of palette that people would call like the Star Wars palette. I would just call it like orchestral music that's being like used in like a thematic way to like tell those stories. Yeah. But hey, I like the comparison. It's a big compliment.
Yeah, I think it's because it's like such a big scope, just like Star Wars. That's why I think there's that comparison.
Yeah, the scope of it, it's galactic in many ways. Wait, there's a really good comment here that I know we should talk about. I know Zach wants to talk about it. Kasim Mehboob said, can you talk about Challenger and how you created the album version as it differs from the version heard in the show? Because Challenger is one of our favorite pieces from the season. Like,
it's true.
I think it's kind of like our landing point for like the Cobra Kai sound, not the dojo, but the show. After like the season climax. So it's very important to us. Yeah.
That
Zach?
we have to do like longer versions now because everyone is insatiable and writes
Yes.
comments being like, "Where are the longer versions?" No, but the truth is that we want to do longer versions and it's very fun for us. But that one we knew immediately when we were recording. So this is the scene for everyone like that isn't familiar. Challenger on the album is the final piece of score in season 3 after the big fight when Kreese has said, he challenges Johnny and Daniel to the tournament. And it also goes into the flashback of Terry Silver telling Kreese, I owe you whatever you want. And that we knew it was going to be very short because it's only about a minute, 10 seconds or whatever. But we loved, I think, like working on it, it was on loop and we're like, damn, like this sounds like this loop, like you just listen to this loop like over and over again. Like it just had a really good vibe. And we had Andrew Sinowick, who's our guitar player on a lot of this stuff, just kind of channel his David Gilmour, who's the guitarist of Pink Floyd, that very kind of spacey vibe. And there's a lot of kind of synthwave 80s elements to it as well. We always kind of pitch. I sent Leo this gif of like an anime of like just anime like street just like raining and it's like purple neon. I was like, this is Kreese's challenge. It's like this gif in audio form. So that's what you hear on the album. And I watched it actually last night. I watched the finale and it's so much, it's like totally different. It's a completely different thing in the show. So we like that we're able to have that on the album for sure.
Yeah. The way when he's like when he says tournament and then the music starts, it's
It's also just like, it's hilarious. Like
it's like a Michael Mann movie.
Way. It is. Yeah. It's like, we got to solve this the old fashioned way, a karate tournament. Like,
but that sums up. I mean, that's so important to like the ethos of Cobra Kai. Or
totally.
like, what was that tweet that was going around that like Hurwitz like posted because he was like, "This nails it." It's like in the world of Cobra Kai, like in the karate soap opera San Fernando Valley universe of Cobra Kai, like all conflicts like they start in the streets. But then they're resolved at the tournament. Like that's the justice of like the Cobra Kai's Valley. And
we love it.
And so like look, we just watched like 3 grown men literally try to kill each other for like 10 minutes
with no weapons, like no guns,
with no weapons, like with their bare hands. and like one of them's like son is like trying to fight his dad. Like it's totally like the height of human conflict. And then like they all like face off and are like, you know what? Let's do this at the tournament. Boom, boom. Like it's perfect.
Yeah. It's a great scene. It's a great scene.
It's like a great scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like you don't need that like I thought like the soft piano just like made it work
more
so perfect. Epic. It's more epic
because you're coming off of the huge score.
Drew, what's the piano from? What is the piano in Kreese's challenge? Like, what is that taken from? Yes, it's the Awake the Snake.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it was like, it's such a softer version. There was a comment. I think you guys might find this funny. I forgot where I saw it, but a lot of people were saying like Nestor, the mini mart guy, like his store was open. Like, did anybody see any of this like going on? Like the window broke.
This is just another Tuesday.
No one calls the police in Cobra Kai world. This is what it is.
You know what? It would be a really boring show if they did.
Yeah. It's funny.
We hate that criticism when people say like, "Oh, like, where's the police?" Like, are you kidding? Just watch the show.
Like watch the show.
Yeah, he probably didn't even care. He was probably this is like the normal,
Yeah,
people that work there, they're so used to it. So going back to Duel of the Snakes, so there's actually a specific part when Kreese tells Johnny that it's his last chance, and when Robbie's like, like he wants what's like join us, he wants what's best for you. It's just Kreese's theme as like an operatic, and right away it sounded a lot like Anakin's Dark Deeds from Revenge of the Sith. Are you familiar with that track at all? Or
I know those scores pretty well. The I think I know the cue you're talking about.
It's like just like the opera,
Oh
it's
yeah,
very
because it's
similar.
just kind of like creepy choir playing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's like the I think it's just like a film scoring device that you don't get to use that often, and when you do, it's amazing because it's like the temptation of evil that's like kind of beautiful and intriguing. You know, like Kreese is like what makes Kreese so dangerous. He's obviously like got some serious karate skills. He's army karate champion, but you know, he's the master manipulator. And so there's something about the like whispering tones of like, you know, quiet choir and whatnot that is you know, that is it's very exciting. Like it's after he has his whole like snowflake monologue, right? Did that
Melt
part
the
happen?
snowflake generation is the best
Yeah,
line written in
the
Cobra Kai.
Snowflake generation is unbelievable, and Martin's delivery is incredible. And so yeah, there's like a I'd say we were reaching for like the aspect of like temptation there, like you don't really know how Johnny's gonna take it. Like maybe it's gonna launch into something else, not a fight. It might launch into Johnny like turning heel again and like joining up with Kreese, but it doesn't.
Yeah. How many chances do you think Kreese is gonna give Johnny? Because even in episode 7, he was like, "This is your last chance," and then in episode 10, he's also like, "Oh, this is your last chance too." Like,
I don't know. Like,
How
I
many
think
chances is Johnny going to give Kreese?
yeah, I think they're in a torturous sort of father-son relationship where neither one can quit the other.
Yeah.
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 So, can you talk about like specifically scoring duel? I was about to call it Duel of the Fates, Duel of the Snakes. like how did you like? Because it's I feel like especially the mega edit. The reason I like that so much is because it's like a 10-minute story. You could just listen to that track and I like pretty much see like know everything that's happening with each. Like how did you go about scoring like
Yeah,
that?
I mean, when we
Wait, Leo, real quick before you start, because I'm gonna just say one thing. This is Leo's like Leo is on this earth to write music like this. Like this is like when we spotted this, Leo was just like almost like in a connection fit, like okay, like I'm gonna like this is what we're gonna do, like blah blah. And I'm gonna let Leo just talk because Leo is
Zach is giving me too much credit.
the way
but
we especially like we don't have a lot of time on these episodes, and like we kind of each started in a certain place, and I was taking all the house fight stuff and Leo was taking this big section.
Yeah.
And Leo, I swear to God, I didn't talk to for like a day and a half. He was just like in his own, like he was in a realm. Like,
well, you gotta lay. I mean,
out.
you gotta lay a lot of the like. You gotta figure out how you're gonna structure it before you can like, you know, really flesh it out. And that's where you get like, that's where you got to get in that day and a half like pit. Because I think when we left spotting, we had just kind of written it down as like big fight, 10 minutes long, like from here to here, and it's like 10 minutes.
There's two 10-minute long fights. It's crazy,
yeah,
that episode.
The first thing we had to do in scoring that was basically figure out where the breaks were going to be, just in terms of like writing it. So we split it into 5 cues, although it's really like 3 maybe. There is this pit thing, the first Vietnam flashback, which is kind of related to the opening cue a little bit from the episode. It's got the like Awake the Snake theme and like solo horn, like a much more kind of military thing. And that basically goes all the way up until the cut back to Johnny charging into the dojo, which is kind of like Duel of the Snakes Part 1. And it kind of goes up through that temptation thing we were just talking about. And then we started a new file. Well, actually, we didn't start a new file, but when we recorded it, we broke it into like 5 different sections. So like the third section happens when Johnny attacks Kreese, and then that goes all the way up until Robbie pulls him off of him when you think Johnny's going to kill Kreese. And then we started the next one when like Robbie attacks Johnny and the build up to that. And that goes all the way up until Daniel shows up. Like the minute you hear the like wheel technique theme on Daniel, which is like one of the most satisfying parts of the whole episode. So that was part 4, and then part 5 was Daniel showing up until Miguel and Sam interrupt them, basically, and then we go into Challenger. So first it was kind of figuring out like, okay, how do we kind of break this down into smaller chunks to like structure it and write it, and what's going to be related to what emotions do we want where. And then it was figuring out also, like, we're always thinking the logistics of recording it. So when you're changing tempos and speeds and a lot, and like maybe slightly different ensemble, you want to change it up there so we can kind of record it as efficiently as possible. But then it was a pretty much write it in order kind of thing once the groundwork was made. At some point I wrote like, man, I wonder if I have this sitting around because it's a fun relic. 1 second. I just reorganized my studio and I don't know where this is, but there's a fun piece of paper.
All right. Well, Leo's looking for the paper.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would add is that the one thing that I think makes Cobra Kai like a very kind of like fun piece of content to write for is the style in which we can do this type of music, and like having bass drums and guitar with like a full orchestra is incredibly, like, in the way that it's used in this, like especially with like shredding and all this stuff, is like a really fun,
I don't know where it is,
unique thing that we get to do, which I think we both really value that, and it just fits in with the vibe of the show so well.
One thing I do a lot, if there's like a really big piece of music to write, like this is just a habit I picked up in college, and it works really well when you're working with picture, is you kind of draw like a little like non-specific timeline, and then I just like squiggle shapes on it and occasionally like write notes of like kind of when it needs to be big. Like Johnny kicks in the door, and then like maybe like I'll just write like horns theme, and then like draw some squiggle of like kind of what the shape is supposed to be. And you just kind of like build this sort of picture of the shape and how it gets bigger and smaller. And I always find that really helpful as like laying down the groundwork before you start diving in and like detail writing it. So I did that for like a large chunk of like the 10-minute theme.
Sorry, give me 1 second. My camera just died again.
We're the host now.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah. We've taken over the channel.
You can keep talking though.
We are now Cobra Kai Kid.
We are now the Cobra Kai Kid. We did not do the trailer music, by the way. I see a lot of people talking about the trailer music. We should ban some of these people here who are just spamming the chat. Yeah, Drew, you gotta ban these people. Who's spamming?
I have moderators. Hopefully they're in the chat.
Oh,
what?
Come on,
Stalin Sod and Maxim Elitarian and GMH Rocks. Get them out of here. 86 them.
Guys, I think I'm gonna need I think I gotta go in like 10 minutes.
Okay, let's have a rockin'.
Drew,
let's have a rockin'
Drew, do you have any
minutes.
other questions or questions from group?
Wait, let me like skip because I have like a bunch of questions, but I'll ask like, okay. So
we can do a part 2 at some point, in the next few weeks.
We always love talking to you.
Look, we don't know when season 4 is coming out to answer everyone in the comments questions. Neither do you. So, you need some content. We're happy to come in and discuss the soundtrack whenever.
I would love that. That'd be epic. Yes. Maybe we could do like, there was a question someone had. Are you guys thinking about doing any live concerts? I know we talked about this last time.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
all we want to do is do a live concert again, but we got to wait until COVID is
like a
under
Zoom.
control. So like
Zoom.
everybody go
I don't
get
think
vaccinated when you can so that we can have concerts.
I don't think we're gonna do a Zoom thing.
Or like a pre-recorded?
I don't think so. I think it's like it's we would rather put the time and effort into like making a better live show for when we actually do have to do it than figuring out the logistics of like a Zoom thing. But we will do it. And I think Netflix, we were telling Drew before we hopped in here that Netflix has made it so that like just the popularity of it that we could play in more places, hopefully. And the first show was so great in LA that we will definitely be doing more. So let us know where you think we should come and we could start plotting it out.
For sure.
World tour.
Heck yeah. I love that. All right. So do you guys want to, I made a list of my top 5 tracks. Do you guys want to name like your top 5 or however amount from
I think that's really fun. I was gonna post that on Instagram anyway, but let's do it.
We can kind of compare lists.
I haven't decided what mine are yet. So Drew, you go first. What are your top 5?
Take your 5.
I don't know if I have mine ranked. I think I just have 5 that I like.
That's me too. So I can't really pick an order. I kind of have an order, but this is very changeable. So at 5, really no particular order, I have Challenger.
Okay, great.
Do you want me to read the whole thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, do the whole thing.
All right. So I got Challenger, Dark Hawk, The Right Path, because was that the Miyagi-Do theme at the end of Right Path? Is that cello? Was that like a cello?
Yeah.
We've been wanting to do that for a bit. But we never really had a chance to do it, and now we had the perfect chance. That scene is amazing.
We love it.
Amazing.
We love it.
I was crying. Like that music, like is the cherry on top. That made it. The Good, the Bad, and the Badass is number 4.
Sorry, Leo. It's not one of his favorites.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. That's what it is.
It's fine.
We like all. If they're on the album, we like.
We like everything we do.
Yeah, I like how it combined every single thing.
Yeah. That's basically an exercise in combining the dojos and like also doing it with picture. I think it works great. I really like it in the episode. I don't like to listen to it as much as I do watch it. I really like to watch it. I think it works great.
I can see what you mean. I like to listen to it because it's kind of like just all my favorite tracks kind of just in one.
Yeah.
Is that
it's
like
a mashup?
Yeah. So is that like an Eagle Fang theme, or was that just a general, or does Eagle Fang not have a theme?
I don't know. Maybe we'll use that. There's that like ostinato Leo in the badass thing.
Maybe we'll use that again.
But I don't know what the dojo is next season. I don't know what.
Oh yeah.
You know, we're still thinking
we don't know
how we're gonna accomplish next season in terms of like how do we score a Cobra Kai scene if it's combined with Miyagi-Do? Like, we got to figure that out.
Are there plans on like a new theme for the new dojo?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Cool. That's I never actually thought about that. That like now that they're combined, like the music, how is that going to work? So that's that's a good video.
What was your last one?
My last video?
No, your last
of your top 5.
Oh, Duel of the Snakes.
Duel of Snakes.
So Challenger, Dark Hawk, The Right Path, The Good, the Bad, the Badass, and Duel of the Snakes. So
hell yeah.
What are your guys?
These are what I think my 5 are, but oh man, it's really hard.
I'm looking at it too.
I would go like, this is not in order. I'm just looking at the list. Miyagi Metal, Dojo from Hell is like one of my absolute favorites in the season. Challenger, also Duel of the Snakes mega edit, but I feel like that's almost cheating because it's like picking 5 cues. And I'm a Sensei. I absolutely love.
Yeah.
But if I was gonna give some, I could easily swap any of those 5 with Return to Okinawa, because like that's like a brand new theme, and was really fun to do. And I also think the orchestra just sounds like amazing, especially in the first half of that track. Like they just crush it. It sounds so good. And Laser Tag is, or the Cobra Effect is also
Cobra Effect,
like a total banger.
I love Miyagi Metal. We just love Return to Okinawa. I agree. We just love that one. It reminds us just kind of like we just get a really like warm feeling from Return to Okinawa. And that's actually 3 pieces. That's 3 score cues in one track.
Yeah.
That's when he sees Kumiko. That is when him and Kumiko, Daniel and Kumiko are talking over tea in episode 4. And then it is what we call Typhoon Flashback, which is where he sees, is it Yuka? Is that her name?
Yuna, I believe.
Yuna. Yeah, where Daniel sees Yuna at the end of episode 5. I love Chop Shop because Chop Shop is the fight with Daniel
in the Chop Shop
and Johnny in the Chop Shop, which it took us forever to just like call it. We didn't even think about it, like Chop Shop. Perfect. Anyway, that we just love that again, kind of that Power Rangers vibe. We love. I know that like we had a meeting with John, Josh, and Hayden early on about that season. Like, okay, like are Johnny and Daniel gonna finally have a team up fight? And they did, and it was glorious. So that is just kind of one of my favorites too. Challenger for sure, and probably just Duel of the Saints because it's great. So I think we have a lot of overlap
really
here.
Hard to pick 5.
I feel
like I could
honorable.
pick 10.
Okay, real quick before we go, what is like honorable mention? One that doesn't get enough love. You think, Leo? I've got one.
Oh, I mean, there's a couple. I would say. I would say Chop Shop definitely is not getting enough love. For me, there's a fair amount of love.
WebMD is my WebMD is like I love WebMD. What do you guys like?
I got one. I love forming a team. Zach does not love forming a team, but I love forming a team. I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
that's the one at the end of episode 9.
No, it's it's at the beginning of episode 6. I also think it's an awesome scene. Like Priest is like scouting out all the athletes.
Yeah.
And I just think I love the like bump, 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 bump. I just think it's great. It rocks.
Oh, so one thing I also want to talk about that Vitor writes. He wrote, how was it like composing? Oh, never mind. I reread this. Well, I'm still gonna answer this question as if this is not the correct question that I thought you were asking, but I'm still going to talk about it. I thought you were asking about our shred along version on Miyagi Metal. So on the album, we have a version of the track of Miyagi Metal that's called Shred Along that we know a lot of people like to play along to the tracks like Johnny's Story or Quiver or Slither or Strike First. Like now you have the opportunity to take the backing track of Miyagi Metal. We took out all the lead guitars. And you can play along with it, and we want to see like everyone posting. We love when you post like cover videos or whatever. We love that. So
love it.
The shred version, the shred along version, Miyagi Metal shred along version. That's what I thought Vitor was asking. But composing that cue is great. We loved it. It's like the ultimate. Like we've never heard that theme in the realm of electric guitars and like as a power metal song. But here's where we are with Cobra Kai. That's how we ended.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I don't want to keep you guys too long. How much longer can I get?
I'm at 6% on my battery and I forgot to plug in.
Okay.
So we'll go in either until I die or if I can't go any longer.
All right.
Let's go. I don't know, for like 5 more minutes and then
let's do 5 more.
I gotta walk my dog anyway.
Cool. So actually someone asked this, and I mean, even if it's not this specific thing, I still thought it was a fun idea. They asked, and to quote, do you guys think you can make a cameo where a soundtrack is playing in a scene and it cuts to you guys performing in the street? I thought that was funny. What do you guys think of that?
I would love it. Problem is we have to go to Atlanta.
Yeah, they shoot in Atlanta.
They film most of this in Atlanta. Yeah, we'll see.
We did a cameo once for a show that we did called Sing It. That was on YouTube, Brad, a couple years ago. That we did. We were in the audience, and we were in the front row of the audience, and we were like dancing. Do you remember that, Leo?
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Hey, we would love. They do that. A lot of composers, there's like there's Easter eggs in TV shows with composers doing that.
I'll tell you, the cameo that we should have had have been the band at the Christmas party.
Snyder. Oh, I thought
Oh,
it was
or
Dee
D.
Snider band.
Snyder, or D. Snyder's band.
That actually, by the way, the Dee Snider song is not. We're not. I'm gonna rock. But there's one where he's not singing. That's us. We had to like make a fake Dee Snider
Oh, and it's
song.
Zach playing guitar too. Is
Oh,
the guitar
really?
solo.
There's like a close up of the guitarist going like, and they needed to replace it. Like they didn't have a track for that.
Oh, that's so cool. Wait,
Yeah.
when was that? Before I Wanna
Episode
Rock?
5. It's like no, it's episode 5. It's at the Dee Snider concert. It's like one of where I don't know. It's like they're coming back from a scene with Daniel or something, and then they land at the concert, and it's just like me shredding, but it actually is a guy on screen. I had to replace his guitar.
Oh, it's when they end the song
Yes.
to go
Yes.
in, and then is that when he says like the Make a Wish?
Yes.
Kid? Oh,
Exactly.
okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to look out for that. Quick 2 questions I have. Favorite character from Cobra Kai, or which character do you relate to most?
Oh.
I like
It's fun-
Kreese. I'm a Kreese guy.
Yeah.
I
But we
love
did.
Kreese.
I'll say
Everything
that
we do with Kreese.
We had the realization recently, I think, in another interview where like someone was like, so it was like Leo, like who's Miyagi-Do and who's Cobra Kai, like who's Leo, who's Zach, and I feel like Leo is way more Cobra Kai and I'm more Miyagi-Do. Like I've been thinking about it a lot. I've been thinking about that a lot since that person asked that.
Yeah, that's if we were actually joining up, yeah, probably.
Sorry, Zach, but you're 2-1.
What? Oh, you're Cobra Kai.
I'm probably a Miyagi-Do, but I want to.
But when I played the game, I played Cobra Kai first. I didn't associate myself as a Miyagi-Do, but I think I just am. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're noble and soft.
It's true.
Also, what was your favorite scene in season 3 to watch?
As a fan?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like there's no music in it, so I like to watch it. Daniel and Chosen in the bar at the beginning of episode 5.
That's a good
When I don't drink. He's like,
okay.
I
love that.
wife,
I love that.
kids. I think I can't remember his name. The actor who plays Chosen just is amazing.
Yuji Akumoto.
Yeah, he is amazing. He crushes it. I think the role of Chosen is like a great one now in the mythology. If you're gonna make the power levels of everybody Dragon Ball Z style, like Chosen's off the charts. He's like above all of it. He's basically like the karate god over in Okinawa. So I like that scene a lot.
I love that. I love. I'm trying to think. I really, really love when in the beginning of Duel of the Snakes. I mean, when Robbie like turns around.
Oh,
when Robbie is kicking, like, and he just turns around, like, and Johnny sees that it's Robbie. It's just like it really hits. Like when we spotted that, I screamed out loud. Like when I first saw that,
absolute
it is so awesome.
Anguish. Yeah,
but you know what? I also love. I like that we got to see a lot more Johnny Miguel this season. They have amazing chemistry. I loved seeing Daniel and Miguel.
yes.
Oh yeah,
that was an
great
awesome.
scene.
I
Or, like,
really
couple scenes.
like Sholo is such a good actor, and like it's like it's an amazing character. And see, I love the thing in Cobra Kai. Like I just love when we have so many characters, and you realize that they all haven't met or haven't like interacted. And there's so many combinations, and we play with that musically all the time. But like, it is so cool to see, and we're gonna have a lot more of it next season, I assume. But like seeing Daniel and Miguel having like a heart-to-heart conversation, and him telling him like the other side of Johnny's story, the Karate Kid side, is like great. Like I love that scene. Actually, that might be one of my favorites.
Yeah, because
sure.
they're like the same. Like Miguel was what Daniel was in Karate Kid.
Yeah. But Leo said this recently, I think in a text chat, and I've been thinking about it a lot recently, that Cobra Kai is the Robbie is the ultimate Robbie story. that Robbie
Yeah, because I think it's
Robbie
like
is the
his-
main arc.
Yeah, because like we don't know where he's like gonna. I mean, and this is again like I don't know anything. I'm just like conjecturing as much as anyone else. But like we don't like Robbie is like torn. He's got this like whole like he's like torn between father figures and like doesn't we don't like he's got a moral compass, but he like shies away from it a lot. And like we just like we haven't seen him finish evolving. Whereas like Miguel, who in a lot of ways is the main protagonist, you could say, that isn't Johnny and Daniel. Like, you know, he's like reached a point with Johnny where like they have this relationship that is at least for now, like pretty rock solid. And like the I don't know, I feel like Robbie's still like flailing in the wind. We don't know his story, and I don't know if we'll know his story until it's all said and done. Who knows?
Yeah. Especially I like when Johnny enters the dojo and you see Robbie, but he doesn't turn around, like it's like the loud music, and then he turns. It's like it's a story within the music, which that part was epic.
Yeah. He has normal hair.
Yeah,
normal hair. That's why you don't recognize him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to. I know Zach.
I'm close to dying here. I think
All
I
right.
need to sign off.
All right, you want to
Should we
wrap it up?
call it?
All right.
I think we should call it.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. This was amazing.
Oh yeah, of course.
I'm honored to have had you guys for the first interview since season 3, and a lot of cool stuff. So thank you guys.
For sure, man. Thank you, and thanks to everyone listening to the album.
Thanks to everyone who contributed here and just like listened, and you know, everyone keep listening to the album, and you know, tweet us and Instagram us like what your favorite tracks are. Like we love hearing, you know, enthusiasm and feedback. You know, you can send us hate mail too, like whatever.
And grab our CD when it comes out.
January
19th.
Oh, it's January 19th.
January 19th is when the CD
is when the physical comes out.
Yeah.
La La Land Records.
Drew, make sure to get Alice's info for us.
I will.
Her a CD.
All right,
Okay.
Alice, email me. Cobra Kai
right.
All right.
All right.
Thank you,
Bye,
everybody.
Drew.
Bye, guys.
Later,
Cobra
guys.
Kai.
Bye, everyone.
Cobra
Kai never dies.
Always cries.
Always sighs. Bye, guys.
Later.